Hi, I'm Jackson Crawford. I'm an Old Norse specialist who's been talking about the Old Norse language, myth, and related subjects on the internet for many years in my little online video channel. And I have noticed over time that certain phrases get requested particularly often for translation, and that moreover, people get interesting impressions about how right or wrong my translations of those phrases are based on turning to dictionaries or sometimes online translation services like Google Translate. I want to just give you a quick impression about why that doesn't actually work, and you actually need to talk to a human who knows how the language works and has studied it over time. And the example I want to use, because it's a extremely frigid Valentine's Day here in northern Colorado, is I love you. Now, in Old Norse, that is ek an þér. But if you turn to an easily available online dictionary of Old Norse, like the Cleesby Vigfusson, which I still recommend, even though it's getting pretty old, you might perfectly legitimately look up the three words, I love you, and get three wrong words for putting that sentence together. You might see, for example, egg, ost, thu. Now, what's wrong with that if those are in fact what you see when you open up the dictionary? Well, many dictionaries use both Old Norse and a combination of some modern Icelandic forms, and egg is a transitional form from Old Norse to modern Icelandic that you will sometimes see in those dictionaries. The Old Norse is ek, the modern Icelandic of today is jeg. So we need ek, not egg, but you could be misled by certain dictionaries. Then with love, ost, a word that you could easily find in the dictionary for love, does mean love, but it's the noun love, like my love is bigger than mountains. It's not the verb love. But even if you find the correct verb for love, which is una, you can't just say ek una, because una is the infinitive form, the form equivalent to saying to love is divine. You have to know how to modify that verb, for instance, by changing the root vowel, in order to make it compatible with the subject of the verb, in this case ek or I. So we need ek an, not ek una, and you need, again, a human being who knows how that works. This is, by the way, a little bit similar to how you might have learned to say in Spanish, hablo for I speak, but hablas for you speak, changing the form of the verb for the subject. And then finally for you, thu does mean you, but it's a subject you, as in you love me. Just like English I and me mean the same thing, but one is a subject and one is an object, thu is the subject form of you, distinct from the object form, which is usually the accusative form, thik. But certain verbs don't take an accusative object, they take a dative object. And again, you need a human who's aware of these issues. So we don't say ek an thik, we say ek an þér with the dative. So just keep in mind that when I say something that you can't immediately verify is the translation based on quickly flipping through an online dictionary or plugging something into Google Translate, it may be because language is never exactly a straightforward cryptogram from one language to another. There's always some processing that has to go on, and it has to go on between a pair of human ears. Hopefully, human ears that aren't quite as ice solid as mine are right now. Well, from beautiful Colorado, let me wish you a happy Valentine's Day and all the best.